Hello, my friend. This is John Patrick Morgan, and I'd like to share another insight with you that I've had recently around goals. So I created this little idea with one of my clients around picking up an index card every single day that had her goals on it and looking at it with the idea that if you just have the goal to pick it up and look at it, then you'll have some consistency every day and presencing yourself to the goals. Keep it small. Keep the goal to look at your goals small so that you actually do it. And I was like, I kind of like that. I'm going to try that myself. And so I wrote down my goals on an index card. And I had the goal to just look at my goals every day. Why that, first of all? Well, presencing yourself to your goals keeps it in your consciousness, keeps you connected to the energy of it, keeps you on path, on target, right? It's just sensible. I don't want to be thinking about them constantly, but I do want to keep them present in me so I don't start wandering off in random directions. I want to have connection to what it is that I'm creating. So that just makes sense to be present to them every day. And then I had my little goal to pick up the goals every day and look at them. And I noticed that I was doing it at first, but then I wasn't doing it. And so my goal to look at my goals wasn't being achieved. And so as soon as that happens, I get really curious. It's because only in my failure to take action in alignment with my intention is there an opportunity to understand what's going on outside of my awareness more deeply and to create myself. Those are the places I want to look. So I'm always like, oh, cool. I said I'm going to do something and I'm not doing it. Interesting. What am I about to learn about myself? I'm just always waiting for where am I not going to be what I said I was going to be? Where am I not doing what I said I was going to do? Because that's the only place that I get to find the stuff that I can grow with and change with and make more coherent. And so it was like, cool. And so I picked up the card that I wasn't picking up with the intention to look at what's actually happening when I look at this card that doesn't feel good or is uncomfortable or has me not want to do that. And so I'm looking at the card and I'm feeling, you know what? Yeah, I do. It's subtle. It's very subtle. You know, behind procrastination hides these very subtle little experiences. They're just these little nudges that would be like, I'll just go over here instead. It's not like, I'm not like, oh, but it's like just enough of a discomfort that I'm walking in that direction and it's like, I'll just go over here instead. And so I'm looking at the card and I'm reading the goals on it. It's like, okay, fill the next creator circle. Yeah, creating live, the event at my house, that's full. Hire the social and YouTube publisher. That's right, publish 100 pieces of content per day. Yeah, that's great. I know it sounds crazy, but it's coming. And I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the dates on the left-hand side. All right, what else have I got? Have 100 subscriptions in creating school, $500,000 in revenue since the first of this year, debt-free, increasing my liquid net to 200,000, and I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the dates, and I noticed, you know what? The goal itself feels good, it feels exciting, but then I look at the date, I'm like, oh, what if I don't hit it by that date? And I started to notice that it's not the goal that I don't want to look at, it's the deadline. So, what's that about? Oh, some of these more than others especially, it's like, oh, what if that feels really hard to meet it by that deadline. I don't have control there. I can't guarantee that. And if I don't achieve that, then that means I've failed. Oh no. And so I've already made videos about how to change your relationship to the fear of failing with a goal. So in this situation, I just want to share a different perspective, which is actually all I did is I just folded the card. I went like this. I went, beep, and I folded it. And I just folded it so I couldn't see the dates anymore. And then I just sat with the card and I looked at it. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, now it feels really good. Now I want to look at it. So I just changed my experience of looking at my goals by removing an element of it, which was the date or the deadline. No, I'm not going to say that means don't have dates for your goals, but it start to bring light to what is the actual subtlety and nuance about looking at a goal that's uncomfortable for me. Maybe for you it's date or deadline, or maybe it's something else. Maybe it's an amount, or maybe it's the size or something. So there will be an aspect of your goal that feels uncomfortable and aspects of it that don't. What I would say as a first dash is to strip from the context of that goal the elements that are making you uncomfortable. Strip looking at that aspect on a daily basis. So if it's like a number of sales, then just think about sales without a specific number every day. If it's a date or a deadline, take the deadline out. And that's just when I say a first dash, I mean just do this first. Why? Because it's more important that you're presencing yourself to the goals than all the specific SMART goal measurable elements are involved. You know, you can still have that, but just don't have it as something that you want to focus on every day if that's getting in the way of you actually being consistent with focusing on it. Of course, you could use discipline and force, but as you know, that's not my thing. You maybe have seen recent videos where I talk about removing discipline. So I want to remove discipline, but I don't want to remove consistency with it. I want to keep consistency alive, but without the pressure and the force. And so what I've found is that by removing the deadlines from like the dates from my looking at every day, now I'm like actually having fun looking at it, because now it becomes an opportunity to just dwell in these ideas, these visions, these goals as complete. And another kind of piece to this too, I was just studying my notes from working 2 years working with my mentor, just reading back through and reviewing them. And I noticed in a place where we were talking about being present with my goals, we didn't use the word goals, we used the word creations. And the word creations instead of goals is nice because it has a different energy. It's not about getting somewhere, winning or losing, achieving or failing. It's just the creations. But the other thing with that tense of the word is it doesn't have this, it's not necessarily understood as a future tense. It could be present tense. It could be past tense. It doesn't really have a tense, creations. And so that freed me up to see that I can actually not just read these, but I can read them not even as in the future. I can read them as present tense or having had occurred in the past. And as I move my experience of these goals from something that may be occurring in the future that I'm trying to create in the future, like future creations, i.e. goals, into things that exist now or have existed, it's easier for me to see them and to feel them and to presence myself to them. So all of this stuff that I'm talking about right now is about seeing and presencing yourself to these creations, these goals, so that you can feel them. And so why is that? Like I said in the beginning, you want to have a focus on the outcome, but you also want to feel that end result, that vision, that goal. Why? Because when you feel the power of that, it actually becomes something that doesn't just keep your conscious attention on it, but it draws your energy towards it. And it will actually inform your creativity and your intuition. And it will be energy that will drive you into action to create those things. And so you want to presence yourself to your creations, your visions, without turning them into goals and ambitions that kill them. And if you find yourself resisting presencing yourself to the things you want to create, then get curious. What is it about looking at that thing I want to create, that goal, that makes it uncomfortable? How could I not have that aspect be part of my looking at those goals so that I can look at them comfortably and enjoy it and feel really good about it, right? If you didn't want to go in the bathroom and look in the mirror because it was cracked and you didn't like looking at yourself through a cracked mirror because you felt like, oh, my mirror is cracked, then just get a new mirror so you can actually go and look. Or if there was a window that was dirty that you didn't like looking out, even though outside of it there was a view that you liked, then you would clean the window. And so in that same way, if you have goals that you don't like looking at, change the way that you're looking at them, clean them up, fix the crack, whatever you need to do to have them be something that you love to dwell on and look at every day so that it can get in your body and in your energy and it can pull you forward and keep you focused. I hope that was useful to you. If you're enjoying this, you need to like personal support. The best place for you to be is to spend a year with me in Creators Circle. It's a very intimate small group coaching program where I actually personally support you in learning how to create everything you want in your life through creating yourself. And when I say yourself, I mean who you think you are, but also how you represent reality, the world out there, who you think everybody is and what you think everything is. You take a conscious role in that. You create incredible serenity and peace. You also access a lot of power to create what you want in the world of form. Anyway, you can find a link somewhere in here to get in touch with me, to learn about that. Click it, read about it, reach out to me. If we need to have a conversation, I'm happy to do that. If you want to have a conversation because you're interested, I'm happy to do that. Most of all, hey, thank you for being here. I love you. Thanks for watching this whole video. I'll talk to you soon.